Now, unfortunately, there are some hard truths that need to be said, and I've never been one to sugarcoat anything on this channel. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear rather than what you want to hear. Now, you can either handle business or the business is going to handle you. It's going to chew you up, spit you out. If you don't want that to be you, stick around.
From dawn till dusk, we'll see it through. Staying driven hard in it every mile. Hunting years and wearing a smile. From hustling 60 truckers, yeah, we're helping you. From dawn till dusk, we'll see it through.
Now, in this video, I'm going to cover some of the problems that owner-operators experience that generally wind up putting them out of business. And it's oftentimes the same guys that you see, complaining in my comment section. That's part of the problem. It's part of what they're dealing with. It's part of what you're dealing with out there. But if you can equip yourself the right way to make it through this tough market, because make no mistake, this is a tough market. It's hard for everybody. Nobody's making the money that they want to be making. But are you making the money that you should be making? Because there's a difference there. Notice I used the words very specifically, the money that you should be making. If you're making the money that you should be making, congratulations. Could it be better? Of course. But if you're not, I'm going to cover, kind of three main points, and then I'm going to go into some subcategories in this video. And I'm going to be able to hopefully help you out. And if not, hey, you're just running a well-oiled machine over there. Congratulations. So the first topic that we're gonna hit is going to be payments, and just payments in general. Right. Let's start with the truck payment. That's where everybody likes to start, right? For some reason, it's not where I started or where I would want to start either when looking at a trucking business. But it's where most people want to start. So, unfortunately, the bad thing is that if you're locked into a truck payment right now, there's not a whole lot you can do about it, other than absolutely dissect every other aspect of your business and see where you can pinch pennies. I do believe that within about a year from now, this is October 2024, that the economy will have at least started to turn back around, and it should be headed in the right direction in 2025. But as far as if you're thinking about getting another truck, or if that truck is killing you and you have the ability to get out of it, well, let's see. That would be a great place to start, right? Put yourself in a better position. That way, when you hit the next down cycle, because trucking is cyclical, you won't be in such bad shape the next time around. But let's move on to some of the other payments that don't get talked about. How about insurance? Do you shop around your insurance every single year, or do you just pay them every year? You can shop those around. And oftentimes there are discounts for how long your MC has been, available, how long you've had your CDL, all these different things. Of course, your points, all of those are going to affect your insurance payment, and you should shop that around every single year. Don't get married to a certain company. They're not paying your bills, are they? No, you are. So act like it. Are you paying for multiple load boards? Do you run loads off of every single load board that you're using? Is the load board that you're using efficient? Does it have all the tools necessary to analyze the markets? All these different payments you need to have a hard look at and see where you can save money, and call them up, shop them around. Every single payment that you have, shop it around, see if you can save some money there. How about you're paying for your maintenance? How are you doing that? Do you pay for them to change out an air fitting for you? Or while you're on downtime, do you crawl around and see if you can find an air leak? Do you wake up after a cool night, the truck's been off, to a truck that's completely out of air? Guess what? You have an air fitting that's leaking. And guess what? That is a very small step that will in turn cause wear on another part, that'll in turn cause wear on another part, that'll in turn into thousands of dollars coming out of your pocket. Yes. Now, a specific air fitting, maybe not. But it's little things like that. Do you replace your air dryer every single year yourself, or do you have someone else do it? The air dryer filter, excuse me. Do you carry an extra leveling valve with you? That way, whenever it goes out, you can change it. That way, you're not shut down and you're paying an excruciatingly high maintenance bill. Preventative maintenance, the stuff that can unbolt and bolt back on, you need to be doing that stuff. And if you're paying for that stuff and you're complaining about how little money you're making, I can't really help you, unfortunately. But preventative maintenance is going to be the best way to save yourself from the big breakdowns as well. And just in turn, going to save you all kinds of money. The more you can do yourself, the better off you're going to be. Also, do you have a breakdown fund? A very wise man once told me, if you don't have $10,000 sitting in the bank specifically for breakdowns alone, not touched for anything else, not touched for other expenses, not touched for personal expenses, personal jewelry or whatever the heck you spend your money on. Do you have a $10,000 account waiting for a breakdown in specific? Also, did you know that you can put $10,000 aside every single year for breakdowns, for a breakdown fund, for maintenance? That's tax free. Did you know that? I mean, if you didn't, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're running a business, right? So breakdown fund, very, very important, a way that you can save money, and also a way to keep you from having a massive headache down the road and ultimately put you out of business. So the second thing that I would like to talk about are going to be expenses. Now, yes, payments are expenses, but you have other expenses too. But the sub point that I want to touch on first is, number one, do you know what your expenses are to the penny? Do you know exactly what they are? But not only that, are you able to analyze those? Are you able to do anything with those numbers? Okay. It's one thing to just have a spreadsheet that you plug everything into so you can look at it all nice and neat. And hey, that's great. You're doing more than most. But at the same time, you need to be able to analyze those things. And if you're not a data analyst, if you're not skilled enough to study data, like truly actually take data out, input it, code it, and be able to spit out graphs and be able to actually analyze the different things, so that way you can see on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month, year-to-year basis exactly what's going on with your company. Don't worry, I have exactly the product for you. In truth, I want to thank Trucker Calculator for sponsoring this video. They are an amazing software, and I just wanted to make that distinction that they are a financial management software. Okay, at these mega carriers, they all have entire departments that are dedicated solely to this. And I don't care if you have one truck or 1,000 trucks. You're a business owner, and you should be managing your finances. So I've got something that I want you to watch, and he sent this to me, but he's been using Trucker Calculator before I even started talking about it. And I love this because he talks about how he was having financial problems before and how Trucker Calculator helped him to solve those, and it could certainly help you. So check this out.
Hey folks, so I've been working as an owner-operator for a company for about a year and a half, and at first I didn't keep track of my numbers and I just trusted the company. But then I started noticing that the companies often trick guys like me, and dispatchers use their own numbers, and it didn't always add up. So I decided to double check what the company was paying me using Trucker Calculator. And when I did the math, I found out I was being shorted like $1,000 a month. It's taught me that I should really know my own numbers. And the Trucker Calculator showed me which loads make me the most net profit, and I calculated different loads and figured it out. Now I don't take every load the dispatcher offers so I can make more. I choose the ones that bring more profit considering all my expenses. So if you're an owner-operator, Trucker Calculator is the best tool out there, and it's free, so I highly recommend it. Stay safe on the road.
Now, a quick reminder of what you get. The software gives you a dashboard, and it has all of the important numbers, like it has your gross revenue, your profit, your rate per mile, your cost per mile, just like I showed you before. And you just saw that actually analyze these and controlling these different these metrics will change a lot in your company. But the best part, like all of this data is pulled in automatically. So you really don't have to deal with any kind of paperwork. I mean, it's all right there at your fingertips. It's automated for you, and it's going to save you so much time, and it's going to make you more money than what it costs you. So absolutely check it out. You need to take that action now and sign up. The Trucker Calculator support team, they'll have your account completely automated within 3 days. The thing is that using this really is the best and simplest way to truly understand your company's financials. It's one thing to know the numbers, but it's a whole different story to actually be able to analyze those. So you need to invest in it. It doesn't cost too much, especially for what it gives back to you. And then the last point that I want to talk about today, I'm going to call this load management. And the first sub point is going to be what you can control versus what you can't control, right? So things that you can control: where you place your truck, what trips you take, where your next truck or where your next load takes you. You can control where that truck goes. You cannot control what the market is actually telling you that area is worth. Unfortunately, you just can't do that. But if you have an understanding of the trucking market in just overall, in general, right? And it doesn't matter if you're brand new or if you've been doing this for 20 years, the data doesn't go anywhere. And that bad times are gonna happen. Okay. That good times are going to happen. So if you plan to succeed when you're in the bad times, you'll always have a job. You'll always be able to operate, right? If the least amount of money that you're going to be making, if you can still run your business, feed your family, and pay the bills, then that's how you need to be operating. You don't need to operate or operate on expenses or income, I should say, when everything's all, unicorns and rainbows, because it's not always like that. You cannot look at each individual year to year. You have to zoom out and look at the macro and think, man, what's the least amount of money that I'm going to make over my trucking, over my owner operating career? And that is how you need to plan your business. So that's something that you can control, right? You can control what your expenses are to an extent. You can control where you put your truck. You can't control whether or not the broker's going to negotiate with you. You can control your negotiating skills. You can get more money if you're skilled. If you're telling me that the brokers won't stay on the phone long enough to negotiate, problem's you, okay? Because it takes 2 to 5 minutes max. And if in subpoint number 2, broker relationship, if you don't know how to talk to people, or you don't have a broker relationship where you can call them and talk to them for 2 to 5 minutes about a load, the problem's you. It's not them. They're not that busy. Okay. It just that one cracked me up. I saw that one in the comments. That one just made me laugh. You got to build broker relationships, and if you've been out here, you've been doing this for a while, and when you're headed to the Great Lakes states, and you can't call them up 2 days before you get there and say, "Hey, I'm going to be there on such and such day. What do you have for me?" Then you're not doing it right. You've got to build those broker relationships. The reason I picked those states in particular is because if you watch my trucking market update video, you know that that's one of the best markets right now. Certainly on the east half of the country. Over in the west, it's the Northwest. So, I do that, every day, Monday through Friday, about 8:30 Central Time. Right here on this YouTube channel. So, hey, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, so that way you can be notified whenever those videos drop. That's not what this is about. This is about building those broker relationships. So that way they will negotiate with you. You're supposed to let their guard or bring their guard down when you're negotiating with them. And it's way easier to do that to someone that you're friendly with. Okay. If a broker's a royal a-hole and they're not hearing what you're saying, and they don't want to deal with you, you don't want to deal with them. That's not somebody that you're building a relationship with. Okay, there are brokers out there that you can do this with. So I don't want to hear that brokers don't have time for that, or that's not what they're about, or they're super busy. No, no, the problem is you. And regardless of how your broker relationships are going, the ultimate goal, this is the last point, the ultimate goal is you want to be getting your own contracts. You want to have your own shippers. Of course, that requires your own MC in order to do that, but that's the ultimate goal. Those guys aren't complaining. Those guys are busy. Those ladies, whoever, those people are busy running a business, truly running a business, going after more business, figuring out how they can make more money, looking at their P&L, figuring out what adjustments can be made. They are doing all the things. And that should be your ultimate goal. That's your end game, is to actually have your own contracts. That's how you're going to make the most money. And that's how you're going to wind up keeping the most money. You can't do that right out of the gate, unfortunately, with a brand new MC. A lot of companies require 1 to 2 years of your MC being active before you can actually have those contracts. So keep that in mind. But ultimately, that's your ultimate final goal. Your ultimate goal is to not have to deal with the brokers, right? Just take them out of the situation, completely out of the equation. Now, you never want to abandon it, because you never know when your shippers, they have stuff go on too. They may not have a load for you, unfortunately, and then you may have to go back to the load boards. So fortunately, it's something that's never going to go away, but it is something that you can, kind of cut out of the situation as much as possible. So like I said in the beginning, I hope that you are on the right path to handle your business rather than your business handle you. Like I see a lot of people in the comments, unfortunately, they're letting the business just run them over and run them ragged. Don't be one of those people. If you made it this far into the video, I sincerely appreciate you. Thank you so much. I do ask that you give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe, bring that notification bell so you know when the next video is coming out. But hey, as always, stay driven.